This week, I take a magical mystery tour and end up, well, somewhere that in hindsight I probably shouldn't have gone, but hey, that's what happens when you take the cheapest flights in a row back to back. I've got absolutely no idea where I'm going to be going yet, because today I'm doing a low fare challenge. So how this works is, if you've not seen me do this sort of video before, is effectively I get to an airport, I book the cheapest flight out of that airport on that day, and then we just keep doing that again and again. And well, it's time to figure out where I'm going for my first flight. So I'm guessing that the cheapest flights out of Houston might be to sort of Mexico, potentially. Let's have a little look on Skyscanner and figure out what we're going to get to. All right, so flights from Houston to anywhere today. Search. Okay, we have our first destination. It's Guatemala. I was not expecting that. Where's Guatemala? It's like Central America or somewhere, isn't it? Let's have a look. It's $45, I can tell you that. And it's with Spirit. Okay, maybe that isn't a surprise. Spirit are supposedly the cheapest airline in the States. They're also one of the airlines that I hate flying on. But it's $45 and it's going to take me to Guatemala, connecting through Fort Lauderdale. So that's not just one flight, that's two flights for $45. On this trip, by the way, I am trying a brand new suitcase that I have been sent. This is the Sterling Pacific 5000. How cool is that? We're going to be putting it to the test on this trip and see how many airlines we can get it on, how it fares over the next few flights. All right, then, all checked in with flights with Spirit Airlines. We're off to Guatemala. I am, how you doing?
I watch your YouTube videos constantly.
Do you? Oh wow, thank you. I'm glad somebody is.
Yeah, no, all the time. It's freaking awesome the places you go. Where are you headed to now?
Guatemala City.
Man, I cannot believe it. I got in line behind. I was like, oh shit, there's no Phillips. That's so cool. Is you going to make a YouTube video out of this?
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, awesome. Thanks very much. Nice to meet you, mate. See you later. Bye. A lot of low-cost airlines in other parts of the world don't do connecting flights. You just get one way, so your cheapest flight seems to be just... Yeah, nice to meet you.
You the UK dude.
British guy, yes.
Yeah. Where you going now?
Off to Guatemala City.
Oh, bro, I'm saying every YouTube today.
Yeah.
I'll be watching your YouTube. Yes,
who else have you seen? Who else have you seen?
It's a gaming YouTube.
Ah, all right, wicked.
It's up loud, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Well, there we go. It's a place to be today, isn't it? Terminal A.
Yeah. So, which airline?
Spirit.
Oh, I work at Spirit.
Yeah, okay.
All right, sir.
Okay. Well, great to meet you anyway.
Yes,
yeah, have a great day.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Everybody's nice here at Houston, aren't they?
Hello. What's the name?
Sorry?
What's the name?
Noel. Alright then, on board leg one, Spirit Airlines, baby. And this is my setup for the next sort of 2 hours across to Fort Lauderdale. They're very basic. You've got these little comical, what that means, lucky seats. Anyway, got these little tray table things in front of you that look like, I don't know, pieces of metal they've bolted on, and yeah, and that's kind of it, really. So yeah, about 2 hours. First leg across to Fort Lauderdale, then we connect on to Guatemala City, baby.
If you're having any conversations on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, Farmers Only, JD, Fish Mingle, or any of the other apps that we know and love nowadays, go ahead and let your loved ones know that you will be leaving shortly, and you need to put those devices on airplane mode.
So my first flight today then took me across to Fort Lauderdale in Florida. It was about a 2-hour run across the Gulf of Mexico. The sun set during the flight. We touched down on a beautiful evening into Fort Lauderdale. Alright, flight one done. Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Fort Lauderdale Airport this time of night is mental busy. It's so busy, there's so many flights going off. Oh, right, made it to the next gate. This bag, by the way, is amazing. That I've got here, my fancy schmancy bag, look at that. It wheels so smoothly.
Thank you, sir.
Alright, thank you.
Wait to meet you, sir. Go
Alright,
ahead.
thank you.
He needs to pre-board.
Alright, flight 2 with Spirit. Let's go to Guatemala. So my second flight was back on Spirit Airlines again. This plane was a little bit newer than the one I had initially. The seats were a little bit more comfortable, but at the end of the day, it was still Spirit. So it was a pretty tough couple of hours across the Gulf of Mexico to Guatemala City. Thank you, gracias. All right. at the end of the day when I woke up this morning. Alright, so now begins my quest to try and get an Uber at 2 o'clock in the morning in Guatemala City. Apparently it's 10 minutes away. It's only just around the corner of the hotel, but I don't really fancy walking in the middle of the night down little side streets and country lanes to my hotel, so well, we'll see if he turns up. Right, so the first one predictably cancelled on me, so now I'm waiting for another one now. I hate Uber sometimes. It's really handy a lot of the time, but then sometimes you get drivers who just like accept a ride and then cancel it when they figure out it's only a short ride. It really annoys me. Anyway, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I just want to get to my hotel. Eventually a driver did turn up and I climbed into the back of the car for the ride across to my hotel. Fortunately, it didn't take too long to get to my hotel, and a few minutes later we were pulling into the parking lot. Right, welcome to my hotel in Guatemala City. This is alright, isn't it? Not too far from the airport, about 10 minutes away. So before I go to bed, I'm absolutely worn out, I'm absolutely cream crackered. Before I go to bed, I need to book another flight for in the morning and figure out where the cheapest flight is. Hey, let's have a look. So I'm not sure where we're going to end up tomorrow. Skyscanner.net. Okay. Espanol. No. Inglés. Explore everywhere. Tomorrow. Today, actually. Crikey. In economy. Search. Right. So we have a choice. And they're both exactly the same price. We can go north to Mexico for $62, or we can go south to Panama, also for $62. So it's a tiebreaker situation. And you know what? I'm thinking if we go to Mexico, we're probably going to end up having to come back to Guatemala again, which is going to effectively put us in a dead-end situation. So I think it's the same price. I think we go for the Panama one. And it's with Avianca, who aren't a low-fare airline. They are a regular airline. I think they're part of Star Alliance, actually. It has one stop in SAL. Where's SAL? San Salvador in El Salvador. So that's another country. And it's $62. Okay. And that leaves 10 a.m. So we've got about sort of 7 or 8 hours till it leaves. Okay. Ooh. And done. I'm off to Panama in the morning. I'm going to try and get some sleep then. I've got to be there realistically about 8, so that means getting up at about 7:50, 7:45 maybe, which means I've got about 5 hours sleep. I'm going to get some rest. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. Well, it's 7:30, so I've had 5 hours sleep or something. It's time to get up. I've got to get back to the airport for the next flight. Airports, please. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Gracias. Gracias, señor. Have a good day. Hola. Thank you. Gracias. Right, made it back to the airport. I'm actually worried I'm not going to have enough time. My flight leaves in an hour. Slept in way too long. Made it through security. Need to grab a Guatemalan coffee before I go. You can't beat Guatemalan coffee, especially if you're in Guatemala. It'd be a missed opportunity, wouldn't it? Let's go see what we can get. Americano. Americano. Gracias. Gracias. Buen día. I then got me Guatemalan coffee. Required, of course, when you come to Guatemala. It's a bit hot, but it's very nice. And my plane isn't actually boarding yet. Got about 10 minutes till the plane goes to aboard at least. A320 Neo, I think, down to El Salvador, another new country. That's pretty cool. So it's a cheesy flatbread. Oh, nice. Went down to El Salvador today, which is quite nice. And then onwards to Panama, because again, we've got this connection in today. $62. Let's go and find out what it's like on Avianca in economy class. Well, there goes the remains of my coffee. I didn't want to drink it anyway. Anyway, we're boarded. Oh, gracias.
Your final destination?
Panama City.
Okay, where I think your ticket not included and carry-on baggage. You have to pay for the carry-on baggage.
Do I? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, how much?
$85. Okay, this is
Gracias.
your receipt. And please say that you have a carry-on baggage.
Perfect.
Okay?
Thank you very much. And
And this is your
transport. Gracias. I need that.
Adios.
Gracias. Adios. Hola.
Morning.
Hey, alright then, on board Avianca. Today is not going well. I've lost my coffee. I've ended up with cramp in my legs from yesterday on Spirit, and now I've just had to pay $85 for my bag, which means this, I guess, technically isn't the cheapest then, is it? Even though it's a full-service airline, they actually sort of charge you $85 to bring a carry-on bag on. That is mental. I'm a bit frustrated, actually, a bit annoyed at myself. I didn't pick that up beforehand, but anyway. Down at the back of the Avianca A320, I mean, the seats are slightly more there than there was on Spirit. Actually, there's not really, is there? Got a tray and a seat pocket, very tight leg room, just like Spirit was as well. I'm guessing Avianca must be more of a low-cost airline then. Not what I expected. Anyway. So then on board Avianca, we took off from Guatemala City and headed south to San Salvador in El Salvador. The touchdown into San Salvador was an absolute bruiser of a landing, so much so that it made me press the wrong button on my phone, so I didn't actually capture it on camera. But anyway, here we were in San Salvador. El Salvador, 1 hour here, then down to Panama. Buen dia. Americano? Grande? Grande. Black, please, negro. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
A los pasajeros del vuelo 317 de Avianca con destino a Panamá se les deja pasar.
Thought I'd have time to have a coffee, but you've got to go through security before you get on the plane. So I've got to sort of make my coffee. I'm still not going to get to finish my coffee, am I? I can see it now. ¿Es bueno? No? ¿Es bueno? No?
¿Factura?
Yes.
Do you have like the bill?
Oh, the bill?
Yeah.
I just got it from there.
Yeah, I got this. Like, I have the same issue with her. She told me it's not like.
You need the
You can't take it
receipts.
if you don't. Yeah.
Ah, got it. Okay, I did get the receipt. Hang on. Gracias.
Remember, welcome to the 317 heading to
Alright then, back on board the Avianca A320 that's going to take me down to Panama City, where the grass is green and the planes are shitty. I don't know, if you're flying on Avianca, maybe. Anyway, about an hour and a half, I think, down there today. That's my view, that's my leg room. Still dreadful. But anyway, it was $62 plus $85 for my bag. Yeah, let's not think about that. Anyway, let's get down to Panama. I remember back in the day, Avianca had a reputation for being one of the world's best airlines. They were like a premium category airline. They're in Star Alliance, which means you'd think that they'd actually be alright, but they're effectively just an ultra low cost carrier. They're actually worse than Spirit, because Spirit at least come round and sell you food and drink. And at least with Spirit, they freely admit that they're crap and they know it, that they're no frills. You know, at least they openly admit that, whereas Avianca still seem to have this kind of illusion as a full-service carrier when they really aren't. But nevertheless, despite my complaints, we were soon descending into a smoky Panama City. Right, and welcome to Panama City. It's a bit warm and steamy here. I booked my Uber down to my hotel. Yeah. Thank you. Now, I do have to say, Panama City was nothing like what I expected it to be. I thought it would be like Guatemala or El Salvador, but actually it was more like Miami. Thank you, you as well. Bye-bye. Hello. Good afternoon, how are you?
Welcome to Valor Astoria. My name is
you.
Hector. I will help you checking in today.
Wonderful.
May I have your passport? I can help you registering today.
Callie dude, thank you. All right, welcome to Panama City. This is the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in downtown Panama City. I got it for $130 for the night, which I don't think is bad value for money, really, for a Waldorf Astoria. They're like a good brand, aren't they? Oh wow, there's my view. This place is not what I expected. Panama, I knew there was a big canal, but I didn't really expect it was going to be a little bit like kind of the Central American version of Dubai. This place is insane. There's just so many skyscrapers and fancy flash cars everywhere. This is a nice place. we need to get a flight booked out of here and figure out where we're off to next on this great adventure. All right, there we go, my dinner's arrived. Hey, had some room service and I was gonna go down to like the main reception and restaurant place downstairs and get some food, but you know what? I really can't be bothered. So I've had a steak delivered. All right, let's have a look at some of these flights then for tomorrow. See where we end up. Let's have a little look at Skyscanner and find the cheapest flight tomorrow out of Panama City. Departing tomorrow, one way, one adult economy. Search. Let's see what we come up with. Okay, cool. So it is very clear that tomorrow we are going to Colombia. The cheapest flights tomorrow are to Bogota in Colombia. Which is that the capital or is it Medellin that's the capital? So to get to Bogota tomorrow, it's going to cost me $90 US from Panama, okay, with an airline called Wingo. It sounds like a car, doesn't it? Like the Renault Wingo. Ringo Star? From Panama City. Oh, hang on a minute. From Panama BLB. I thought Panama was PTY. Hang on a minute. This might not be working. Oh, okay. Oh, right. So there is a second airport in Panama called Balboa, as in Rocky Balboa, the punchy bloke. It's going to take 36 minutes. Well, it took about half an hour to get here from Tocumen Airport. Oh, it's the other side of the ship canal. And we booked. Cool. 1 p.m. tomorrow is my flight. So 2 hours before, gets there at 11 a.m, which means leaving here at about 10. Oh gosh, yes, I get a lie-in then. I don't have to leave here till 10. Resort. And we're going to take a flight on Wingo. I will see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning from Panama City. I slept really well. I got about 8 hours. My legs are still absolutely banging with pain. Who cares? We've got another low-cost flight today down to Bogota. I'm trying to think all these little 1 hour hops I've done all the way down so far. It's going to take me forever to get back in it, and I'm going to end up with a blooming $5 flight back home to Houston, aren't I, at the end of it? But anyway, I promised I would talk more about my suitcase, my lovely, lovely suitcase. Let's have a quick look at this before we go to Bogota, eh? So this is the Sterling Pacific 5000 suitcase. It sounds really cool, doesn't it? It sounds like some sort of robot or something like that, the Sterling Pacific 5000. And it looks like incredible. Look at this. It's proper aluminium. It's all aluminium or aluminum. But this is the aluminum Sterling Pacific, and it just looks the dog's doodahs, doesn't it? It's not only got the whole aluminium sort of look, but you've got these leather handles and stuff on it. That's amazing. And these clips that you open it with as well. It's like an old travel trunk. Really classy, really cool. The corners as well are sort of reinforced as well. You can tell this is a really sturdy, solid piece of kit here, as you would expect for the price. This isn't a cheap suitcase. It's quite pricey, and I was just thinking, well, I generally will pay a bit more for a suitcase because I use them quite a lot, okay? This is more than I would usually pay for a case. However, I get the impression this is going to last a very long time, whereas the cheaper ones I get tend to just sort of eventually get broken, get damaged, get scuffed, get beaten up, get, you know how it goes with suitcases, especially if you travel a lot. And this thing I've got is like a tank, and I get the impression that it's just going to last forever. Time will tell. So far it's doing well on this trip, apart from getting coffee stains on it when I spilled coffee all down it yesterday. But hey, you can't have everything. That just wipes off because it's aluminum. And then you open it up and then look at the inside of this thing here. I mean, I actually have started using, by the way, another side story, I've started using these packing cubes for when I'm traveling because they just make it so much easier. Look how neat this is. This is a potentially week plus trip I've got packing for here, and it's just nice and neat. Everything's nice and neat. But then when you open it, of course, as well, you see the waterproof in there, which means that if baggage handlers leave it out on the ramp, it's not going to get all your stuff wet inside. And this stuff here, it's like a sort of suede effect. It's almost like Alcantara that you get in fancy cars. It's quite nice. And then you've got this little section here at the back, which is quite nice. And I keep my dirty stuff in there, usually, again, in a packing cube. And then you've got this little pocket here, which is nice. And you get an amenity kit as well. We could do an amenity kit review of the suitcase, couldn't we? Hang on. But as I mentioned before, the thing I really love about this case is, well, the handle. That's so satisfying. I could do that all day. It's not hydraulic, but it sort of feels like it almost is hydraulic. It glides So nice. I'm obsessed with that. I'm absolutely obsessed with that. So yeah, that's me, Sterling Pacific 5,000 suitcase. Faring up fairly well so far, I think. So let's get an Uber, let's get across to the airport and head out of Panama. Yeah, it's really good. Look at this, the action there, when it lifts up there.
Oh, very nice. Take care.
Yeah, you too, man. Bye. My bag even has admirers here in Panama. Look at that.
Okay.
Thank you. Right, now of course I couldn't come to Panama without seeing probably the thing that Panama is most famous for, and that is, well, this thing behind me. This is the Panama Canal, and it reaches from the Atlantic across to the Pacific. It's about 80 miles or so across the country of Panama, and the Pacific's here, the Atlantic's on the other side, and the big container ships use this to get between the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans, which is pretty epic, really, isn't it? Amazing feat of engineering. Saves them going all the way down to South America and round the bottom of South America and back up again. It's a nice, easy route for the ships to get from the Pacific to the Atlantic, and then of course across to the US, the east coast of the US, and over to Europe, and of course the other way across towards China and Australasia as well. I'm kind of stopped here to see this. I've always wanted to come and see this, and it's pretty cool. When I told you it was not just the canal here, they have Panama hats as well. You see, they're selling Panama hats. I wasn't making that bit up. Panama hats, Panama Canal, that's the two things I know about Panama. Thank you very much.
Okay, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, man. You as well.
Bye-bye.
Great to meet you. Thanks for stopping. I appreciate that. Bye-bye. So this airport is really tiny. It's actually in a place called Balboa, which is named after the dude from Spain, the first person to get to the Pacific from the New World, Balboa, not Rocky Balboa, some other dude called Balboa back in the day. And this place is tiny. The only airline I think that fly here is Wingo. There's several of their 737s parked out on the ramp as well, so that's quite nice. And I think it's a military airport originally. The passenger terminal here is tiny. This is literally just crazy small for the amount of passengers that are here. So yeah. It's not great, and there's nothing here either. There's no facilities, no shops or anything like that. Just toilets and planes outside, that's it really. So I'm here 3 hours early, thinking naively I need to be here 3 hours early for an international flight, but clearly not. Let's spend 3 hours waiting for our flight here in Pacifica, Panama Pacifica Airport. Gracias. Oh, you need that again? Oh, hang on. Tray.
Tray A, yes, next to the window, third row.
Guardes todavía.
La dos,
Tray.
tres.
Alright then, on board Wingo 737-800, and I have to say, look at this for legroom. This is a low-cost airline. I mean, this is mental. Look at that. So much legroom. It's quite basic still on board in terms of the seats and everything. We've got these like lovely blue headrests and stuff. We've got tray tables though and stuff like that there. Not actually that bad. The airport, however, here at Panama Pacific Airport, well, it's a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest. Not the nicest place to spend a few hours, I have to say, but hey. As we taxied out from Panama Pacific Airport, there were quite a few military planes here as well, so I get the feeling that this is one of Panama's military bases as well. So Wingo as an airline then, it seems are owned by Copa Airlines, who are the national airline of Panama. Copa are based over at Tocumen Airport, which is where I flew into yesterday, but their low cost on Wingo seem to be based out of Panama Pacific Airport. As low-cost airlines go, I have to say that Wingo were actually pretty decent. I did have to do my own little bit of advertising though as we carried on towards Bogota and grabbed a little snack to eat as we started our approach down into land in Colombia. gracias. Yeah, it's a good job my Sterling Pacific case is waterproof, isn't it? Weather's minging. Alright, welcome to Bogota, Colombia. It's a bit rainy here and it's quite chilly. It's really cold. It's like 15 degrees or something here. Wow. Anyway, it's waiting for me Uber. It's going to take me downtown to my hotel. Maybe they've got a massage. That might be nice, because my legs are banging again today. Not that you needed to know that, but anyway. Hola. Buenas tardes. Ay, gracias. Right then, welcome to Bogota in Colombia. Oh my goodness, I'm just looking at this amazing view out of my bedroom window. There's like mountains and stuff. This place is cool. I've never been to Colombia in my life. Never been anywhere that I've sort of thought about visiting, and yet, well, here we are. Who knows where these adventures will take us as we're finding out swiftly, but this is nice. Apart from the fact it's raining, which is a bit annoying. Hopefully the weather picks up a little bit. It'd be nice to get a bit of a walk around the town or something. And this is my bedroom. I've booked the Hilton Bogota. I think this is the downtown area as far as I know. I don't know. He said there's a spa, so if there's a spa, maybe there's a massage. I don't know. At some point, get on the Wi-Fi. We'll figure out where we are off to next, I guess. Oh, all right. Ooh, that's a bit soft and squishy, this chair. Anyway, right. Right. I've got my wine. I've got my laptop. It's time to look at flights out of Bogota tomorrow. So we could go, I mean, I'm guessing Ecuador, maybe? Peru. That's just to the south. Maybe we could do... I saw Sky Airlines at the airport. They fly to Lima, I think. That might be an option. Skyscanner.com. Bogota, Colombia, Bog. Tomorrow, which is 4:20. April the 20th, and we are not returning. We are going on a one-way flight. One adult economy. Let's do this. Okay, explore everywhere, search. So, we can't go back to Panama. We've been there. It's got to be international. It can't be Colombia. Option 3. Bloody hell. Okay. Oh boy. Right, okay. Venezuela. Oh no. Really? We can't go back because the rules are we can't do backsies. We can't go back to Panama. We've been there already. It's got to be an international flight. The cheapest flight is to Medellin, which is also in Colombia. We can't do that because it's a domestic flight. Next cheapest is to Caracas in Venezuela. It's a bit kidnappy from what I've heard. Oh boy. Right, okay. Can I even get into Venezuela with my passport? Let me have a look. Venezuela, visa requirements, UK citizens. Okay, no visa is required. Oh boy, it looks like we're going to Venezuela. Holy cow. Okay, let's have a look. Venezuela. So my flight is going to cost me $140 US. Okay, $140 to Caracas, and it's on Wingo, which is the airline we flew on today. Oh boy. Wow. Let's have a look then. Booked, right, okay. We are going tomorrow to Caracas in Venezuela. Oh boy, on Wingo. The good news is my flight isn't until, what time does it leave? Late afternoon. So that's good, I suppose, isn't it? Oh boy. Let's do this.
The next morning, the weather wasn't any better than when I'd arrived, but the good news was that I did at least manage to get myself a massage before my flight to Venezuela.
Well, good morning from Bogota in Colombia. It's time to say goodbye to Colombia now as we move on to the next place on this wild journey. And this journey is turning into something wilder than I could have ever imagined. Because today, well, it's the day I get on a plane to Caracas in Venezuela. It still doesn't feel real saying this. Not gonna lie, kind of a bit nervous actually about this one. I have no idea what it's going to be like there over in Venezuela. You hear so many bad things about the place. So, well, let's get down to the airport and jump on a plane across to Caracas, Venezuela. All right, all checked out of the hotel. Just booking myself an Uber to get myself to the airport. I was wondering why it was so cold here in Bogota, and also wondering why I'm so out of breath here every time I walk a tiny little distance. I've just looked at it. Bogota is nearly 9,000 feet above sea level. It's the third highest capital city in South America. Just crazy. No wonder I'm out of breath all the time. I thought I was just getting unfit, but no, apparently not. Right, we want a ride. Where do we want to go to? El Dorado International Airport. El Dorado. Does anybody remember that TV show, by the way?
El Dorado. It used to be on telly back in the 90s in England. No? Just me? I used to like that show before they cancelled it. Right, airlines, Wingo, Terminal 1, that'll do. And we've got a Comfort, or a taxi actually, for 30,000 pops. Let's do that. I don't know what that is in English or dollars, but let's have a look. Muy bien. Gracias. Gracias. Bye. Bye bye, hasta luego. Hola. Hello. Alright then, all checked in. Seems to be okay. Yep, doggy seems happy. Right, let's go through security. Alright, I've come to the El Dorado lounge here in Bogota Airport because it was quite busy outside and I walked for somewhere quiet and I got my priority pass which has got me in here. Decent lounge this as well actually, the El Dorado lounge. No TV's playing El Dorado, I've noticed that, but other than that, it's quite nice. Alright, so they've got a bar here where you pour your own glass of beer and it's BBC beer. So I'm going to have a nice drink of BBC. It's really cool, you pour your own BBC. So I'm going to go and have a suck on some BBC and see what it's like. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever tried BBC. It's really nice. It's got kind of a sweet aftertaste to it. It's good. I will definitely be having some more BBC before I'm out of here. Alright, time to go and get on the plane to Caracas, baby. Gracias. Hola. Bienvenido. ¿Cómo estás? Gracias. Alright then, on board finally the Wingo flight across to Caracas, Venezuela. Another Wingo 737, exactly the same as the last one really. Quite a nice amount of leg room. Got my form to fill in to get into Venezuela. Oh, wow, can't believe I'm actually going. I never actually thought at the beginning of this video that I might end up somewhere like that, but hey. As the jet bridge was disconnected, we pushed back from the gate and started our taxi out for the runway to get on our way to Caracas in Venezuela. I do have to admit, by this point I was absolutely bricking it because I've heard so many bad things about Venezuela and well, I just didn't know what I was going to expect when I landed down on the ground. Alright then, here goes. The sun has set outside. We've started our descent down into Caracas. That's it, if you pull, that's it.
Sí. Mike, así.
Madrid? Madrid, sí, sí.
¿Vienes de allá?
Sí, inglés.
Reino Unido.
Reino Unido, sí.
Estuve en Birmingham.
Ah, Birmingham, yes, yes, sí, yes. Yes, yo hablo Birmingham.
Birmingham, inglés.
Sí.
Qué bueno.
Gracias. Buenas noches.
Jesús.
Ay, sí.
Vamos a Madrid.
Sí, sí.
Okay, vamos.
Gracias, Sonia. Hola. Hola, buenas noches.
Piso 4, fourth floor.
Alright, here we are then in Caracas, Venezuela. Eek! I can't believe I've actually made it here. I have to say, it seems relatively nice so far, actually. I mean, granted, I've literally seen like 5 minutes of driving between the airport and here, but this is a Marriott hotel and it's the only Western chain here in Venezuela. I tell a lie, I think there is in some places there's like Westins or something, But here in this part of the country, the only hotel you can stay in is a Marriott. There's no Hiltons, there's no Hyats, no anything like that. Because of obviously the sanctions and everything here on Venezuela from the States, so that means that foreign companies have a bit of a hard time operating here. But this is my room. I've got, it looks like a suite. I've got the living room here then, and what's in here? Let's have a look. We've got a nice big bedroom. Wow, okay. And again, it's got a nice view out here. Looks like hotels and things, or apartment buildings maybe down there. And really, I've got to figure out what we do next because to be honest, I wasn't expecting to get this far. So now I need to figure out what the cheapest flight is going to be tomorrow. All right then, let's have a look. What we're working with then to try and get us out of Caracas tomorrow. So we're going to go to Skyscanner and see what we can find first. So flights on Skyscanner from Caracas, Venezuela, CCS. Okay, let's see. So the problem we have, I think, is that, well, it's come up with 3 destinations internationally out of here. It's come up with Colombia, it's come up with Panama, and it's come up with Guatemala. These are all places I've already been to, bear in mind, on this trip. And the rules are no backsies. We can't go back to a place we've already been to a country we've already been to. So now we're in this situation where effectively we're at a dead end. There's no more countries we can go to from here that we can book on Skyscanner for flights tomorrow. So, do we look at flights domestically for the last one? I think we ought to, you know, otherwise we end it here. I don't want to end it here. I want to do something else extra. I've had fun doing this and I don't want the fun to end. So, shall we see what flights we can get out of Caracas tomorrow? Okay, so Venezuela tomorrow. We can go to Palomar is the cheapest. Where's Palomar? Okay, it's here. It's on an island, Isla Margarita, and it's in Venezuela still, but it's over in the east. Look, there it is. Oh, it's over near Trinidad and Tobago. I've been there. Okay, and let me have a look at booking that. Okay, so a flight to Palomar is going to cost me $39 US on an airline called Venezolana, who I think must be like a national airline here in Venezuela or something. And they've got flights from Caracas to Palomar tomorrow, leaving at midday. So I'm going to go and get some sleep. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning from Caracas in Venezuela. And I have to say, when I figured I was coming to Caracas, Venezuela, I did not expect it to look like this. Look at this beautiful view down there. We've got the marina, we've got like tennis courts and everything. I literally spent last night reading stuff on Reddit, always a mistake, Reddit in general, but I mean reading stuff on Reddit about Venezuela. Literally everybody's like, do not go to Venezuela, it's too dangerous, you will get killed. And well, I've been here for sort of 12 hours now and I've not been killed yet. Well, let's see what happens today. Hopefully I don't get kidnapped. If I do, then I don't know. If I do, then just say nice things about me, won't you, please? I tried my best. Anyway, that's not going to happen. We're going to have a great day today. I know, but there's a plane over there. Sorry, I'm being distracted. There's a Let 410 flying across the sea in front of me. It's a bit distant for you to see. But anyway, let's get down to the airport and let's get a ride across to Palomar and see where we end up from here.
Venezuela también. Allá, ¿ves?
Gracias. Thank you.
Okay.
Hola. Hello. Passport, sí? Sí. Okay. Gracias. Hasta luego. Right then, so made it airside here at Caracas Airport Nacional Terminal, the domestic terminal here in Caracas. Waiting for me outside there, the window, is an MD-80. And MD-80s, well, as you probably know if you've seen this channel for a while, there's not many of them left these days. Here in Venezuela, though, it's a haven for these old aeroplanes like this because they just simply can't get newer planes over here because of everything that's happening. So, yeah, there's a lots of old planes flying around here, and the MD-80 is one of them. Gracias. Well, I certainly didn't have flying on an MD-80 on my trump card for taking these cheapest flights, but I'm not complaining. I didn't think I'd ever get to ride on another one of these, so I'm on board one right now. It was quite nice as well on board this one. I don't know how old it is. I think it's Venezuela. I think I've got a couple in their fleets, and this is quite nice actually. And yeah, it's going to take me across to Palomar, and the legroom, well, I've got my bag there as well, but the legroom is pretty decent, I have to say. Here in 24A, I've got my view out of the window. That's my view. Bit of a scratched up, dusty old window there, but never mind. Let's get out of here. Alright then, airborne on the Venezuela MD-80 across to Palomar. Wow, absolutely incredible noise those engines make. I forget how awesome that sounds. But anyway, we've got about a 30-minute flight, I think, across to Palomar. It's so noisy. Wow.
Sí, sí, dale, dale.
Gracias, buenas tardes. Taxi, sí.
Taxi.
Taxi, sí. Hola, señor.
¿Cómo te llamas?
Hotel TBC?
Sí, sí, sí.
¿Cuánta? ¿20? 20, sí. Gracias. Palomar es seguro, ¿sí? ¿Palomar es seguro? Sí, sí.
Donde te vas a quedar, en el Hotel Tibisay, es muy buena zona.
Ajá.
Está muy bien ubicado.
Sí, gracias, señor. Now, when I set off on this adventure back in Houston several days ago now, well, I was sat in the airport waiting to leave and feeling a little bit of trepidation, and I was sat watching TikTok, because sometimes I watch TikTok to pass the time, and I was served one of these motivational, inspirational videos by a guy about how to deal with uncertainty coming up and things that you've got coming up that you perhaps are a little bit trepidated by, if that's a real word. And that kind of spoke to me quite a lot at that moment in time, because I was quite nervous about where I'd end up on this trip. Anyway, this guy said, right, the way to look at things like this, big things that you've got coming up, that big speech you've got to make, that big scary thing that you're about to do that you're really nervous about, stop and look at it a different way. And you look at it from the perspective of somebody who's already completed that, and you look at it as future you. In this case, with this trip, I talked to myself, which I do often anyway, sign of madness, I know. In this case, I spoke to myself and I said, right, I've had an amazing trip. I've taken some crazy airlines. I've ended up doing something that I never thought I'd want to do. Something really cool, really exciting. And I'm looking back on that trip thinking how amazing that entire trip was. And that kind of worked, because it puts you in the place of, okay, I'm not scared about this trip, but before I even leave, I've already had an amazing trip and I've enjoyed every single minute of it and had some amazing experiences. And well, I think that's pretty cool really, and I just wanted to share that before I sign off this video from this beach here in Venezuela, a place that, again, I was scared to come to before, and coming here has showed me that actually this place is actually quite a decent place. The people are lovely, the areas are quite nice, there's some amazing beaches, and yeah, I would definitely come back here again and explore a little bit more, I think, around here. But for now, well, I'm going to go and grab a beer, I think, and chill out and try and figure out how I'm going to get out of here, because I need to go home now and I need to find a way out of Caracas. So join me on the next video when you'll figure out what happens from here in Palomar. But anyway, thanks so much for watching as always. If you've enjoyed the video, drop me a like down below. I would really appreciate it. Drop us a comment, let me know which of these flights I've taken that you've enjoyed the most, and anywhere that you'd like me to go next on a future video as well, let me know down in them comments. But in the meantime, thank you as always so much for watching. Take care, be kind to one another, guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.